Welcome back, everyone, to the Integration Hub. And we're continuing our Manifest series today, sharing, of course, the conversations our team had on the ground at one of Freight's largest logistics conferences. And this one actually is a little bit different than our past few episodes. There's no EDI deep dive in this. Instead, actually, we sit with a past guest of the Integration Hub, Maggie Barnett, the CEO of LVK Logistics and the COO of ShipHero. We get into something the industry doesn't like to talk about enough, at least from my perspective, and that's the humans behind our technology. Now, Maggie runs several warehouses across the US and Canada, and she's what I like to call a hands-on operator. She also has some refreshing takes on AI, automation, and what it actually takes to build a logistics business that works. Let's get into it. Maggie, so happy to be here with you again.
Grace, thank you so much.
Look at this event, 8,000 people.
I mean, I feel like it gets bigger and bigger every year, and the quality gets better.
So much better. And I think what's really great too is the panels are very focused on actual content that's going to, drive home. People can leave and actually execute and push strategies forward. There's a lot of AI chatter, which I'd love to dive into with you, but we're just talking about boots on the ground, people. It's been really fun talking with you about this opportunity to sit here and chat with us because you've been doing that same thing. Tell us about the warehouses and what your week's been like so far here at Days.
So thank you again. Thank you for having me. It's so great to get to catch up, and in person is like such a treat. I love being in the warehouses. We have at LVK, we have 7 warehouses, 5 in the US, 2 in Canada. And I try to visit one at least once a month. And I want all of our operators and even our commercial leaders to do the same because you just need to be there. So I was in our Vegas warehouse today, 200,000 square feet. And there's just things you learn that you can't figure out when you're sitting behind a computer.
Now remember, Maggie has been scaling warehouse operations for years, and she's seen firsthand how technology rolls out and how that can go sideways when operators aren't in the room to implement it. So we asked her how she thinks about bringing new tech to a team that didn't ask for it and what empathy actually looks like in practice.
So, I mean, even something as small as
what's the stuff that you figured out this week?
I think there's 2 buckets I like to look at when I go into the warehouse. I'm like, there's problems of just like physical equipment breaking. And then technical workflows that just don't make sense. Because the person who created the technical workflow, is vibe coding, has the best intentions, thinks about it and tests it for 15 minutes, as opposed to an 8 or 10 hour shift. So I think that's the thing is like having your operators go in there for a full shift, testing those workflows, because that's where it breaks down.
It's on that note, it's interesting because you post a lot about kind of the warehouse workers and the joy that they have in their job, which I think is really cool. And so it's interesting that you touch on those things that aren't technical, but at the end of the day, it's about like improving the overall work, right, that those individuals are doing in the warehouse, right? And enjoying their job as a picker, right?
100%. And I think it gets so lost in this like world of AI that like people aren't people and they should be robots. And I'm like, our humans are the ones solving these problems. They're the ones going in there. They're the ones that are providing for their families. I think there's still this part of America that it's so important to like create really good jobs and also for those people to have autonomy in those jobs and to be listened to because they're the ones doing it all day.
Definitely.
And like actually like I find much more joy packing out, 200 orders in an hour. That's pretty fast, but like we're like, but with our tech, it's pretty
easy.
With
these meals, we
have a lot of. You don't even have to hold a scanner. We have it all done. It's really good.
So with these meals, I could.
You could. I think you could. I think we'll just get some polys. We'll get some polys going. No boxes. I think the idea is though, like we want to listen to the people in the warehouse because that's the team. There's a lot of pride in there, and I want to keep that going. And I have a lot of pride in them and the product we put out. That balance between innovation and buy-in becomes very real when you're talking about capital investment, especially capital investment in the environment that logistics and freight has been in over the last few years. Now, Maggie has a clear philosophy on automation spend, and it's a lot more measured than the robotics vendors at Manifest would like to hear. I love that you touch on like the human aspect of all this, because I think
it gets lost in that conversation of AI in particular. And do you find, I always find like, especially the younger generations coming into these jobs, like I feel almost like a pressure from them to implement better technology, right? Like they're coming in. I was just talking to a buddy who was telling me what he saw like in the back of like a trucking warehouse, and it was like, you know, an AS400 like setup and like a computer. Like it was a computer that was at least 20 years old, and they don't want to be working with those. And so, do you find like this is to stand tech is of course better for the business, better business outcomes, but in order to stay viable and I think hot right in the future, it's something you have to continue. Innovation continues on and on and on.
Yeah, it's such a tough, you know, square nut to crack in the sense that like you want to satisfy both parties. You want to keep moving further with tech.
Yes.
And then the people who don't want to use new tech, you want to listen to them too to see what their apprehensions are. Yeah. I think it's so easy for folks to come into the warehouse and be like, do this, do that. Why are you doing it? This is stupid. Yeah. And they don't really take the time to listen.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you have both of those things, like a very engaged listening product person, not someone who goes and steamrolls and says, you know, what you've been doing for the last 20 years of your life is all wrong.
Yeah.
Like that's like oil and water. I think it's really having that empathy to learning, and then it's going to create a better product.
Definitely.
And people who are going to adopt it and use it. Because there's a plenty of tech out there that people pay for and never use.
Totally. Well, in warehousing, it's like that. I would assume, I don't want to say the ROI, but the outcome has to be there as soon as it's implemented. I would assume. Right.
And I think there has to be, we say that if there's ROI in the first 6 months, just go ahead and do it. And if it's under X dollars, like we have faith in you, like just go ahead and do it. If it's anything over 6 months, we have to look at it. Yeah. Some of these robotic companies, I have agita. I'm very allergic to signing a 3 to 5 year contract on something for millions and millions of dollars when I don't know what the ROI is right away with some of these. Because also, we don't always know what our customer profile is going to be.
100%.
So it's very different with these bigger B2B companies where it's very easy to know what's coming in and what's coming out for the next 3 years. Absolutely invest in automation.
Very interesting.
But with the D2C, I could do supplements one day, apparel, shoes.
Yeah.
It has to be more agile. So we have implemented things that are much more, I like to call it agile automation.
Yeah.
Where it's only, $2,000 investment, huge ROI that day.
Yes, exactly.
So like make it easy for people to adopt and you can see it quickly.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge risk. Like your operators are like, oh, I can bet on this.
Yeah. What have you seen like over the last year where those quick wins are there? What type of automation in particular? What are you automating behind the scenes that really delivered for you?
2 things that are huge right now. We have something called direct pack to light, which is basically we can load up anywhere from 30 to 800 SKUs in a pod, and there's lights underneath for the picking. So people aren't looking for numbers, they're not looking for names. The light comes up, boom, boom, boom. And so the one person is picking the item and packing it right at the desk.
That's awesome.
So the return on investment there was in days of starting it. Yeah. And it was some lights off Amazon.
Yeah.
That wasn't
totally.
So no one had a booth here. We just made it.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was huge. The second thing is ShipHero's AI picking, smart batching, anything where there's massive amounts of data. I don't want someone making their own batches. Like that shouldn't be a human task, because if you need 15 pivot tables and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, you lost me at pivot tables.
Exactly. That's it. No, I was like, I don't know. But like when you need that much, just the AI picking has made better routes and better batches.
Definitely.
So those 2 have like moved the needle and easy to implement.
The quick wins are real, but Maggie is equally clear about where she pumps the brakes. With AI tools multiplying fast, she's developed a sharp filter for separating genuine value from what she calls just inserting yourself in the middle. What type of tech are you like not sold on 100%? I mean, I think the robotics aspect in terms of your customer profile makes sense. Like that's go figure to me, right? What other are you out there you're maybe looking into, but you just haven't fully found in there yet?
Yeah, I think it's so different for each kind of buyer and who their customers are. Yeah. So I would never want to, kind of like dissuade someone because they have a use case where it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
I do feel like we're trying to over optimize in certain areas with certain layers on top that I don't know where there's a ton of value creation, more people just kind of inserting themselves in the middle. So I always take a step back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, can I get this data from my direct provider and manipulate it myself versus someone inserting it? They're just putting it in Claude.
Like a third middleman of your data for what reason?
Exactly. Like, I can do this. I can hire someone to do this. I don't need this product and do exactly what I want, not some productized thing that doesn't really, that's just satisfying investors.
Yeah.
Not a...
Well, to bring to your point though, like, and you brought up Claude, like there's tools that we can easily play with our data and actually get good outcomes out of it without having to make that third party investment or partnership, right?
Yeah. And it's way lower risk. You get to learn while you're doing it. Yeah. We even ran through some of our finance models through it to see like net revenue retention and things like that. Yeah. We just basically, our VP of finance put everything in a folder, attached it, and I can ask questions that I mean, it's very cool. It's very empowering. Yeah. So I think that's where I'm always apprehensive for people. I'd say, is someone inserting themselves and adding value or just trying to arbitrage data?
And Maggie and I wrapped with what might be one of the most counterintuitive takes of the Manifest series so far. One that actually has nothing to do with software at all. It's like, what is your company looking to be 5 years from now?
Yeah.
EDI is not going away.
Correct.
And most people, when you say EDI, are like, oh no, because they know it's not going away.
Yeah.
But we're here to make it easier. And so I love that. And I love the partnership aspect that we've built as well. And your team's awesome to work with. So thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Oh my God, Grace, awesome. Thank you. Yeah. This is great. Thanks the whole Orderful team. Yes. It's been fantastic and have a great show.
Let's leave a hot take though. Oh, hot take for 2026. Technology-wise, what's you got a couple cocktails. You're going to put a provocative statement. What's your hot take for 2026?
So I know Aaron, our CEO at ShipHero, he's Mr. Hot
Talk
Take.
Talk about Hot Take.
He's Mr. Hot Take.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's here. Yeah. Well, he's at the warehouse actually.
Oh, that's right,
He's doing just warehouse stores.
Let's channel.
I don't have so I'll do a toasty take.
Yes,
a toasty take. Yeah. I think we're all talking about agents and AI and all those things. And it's not so much of a take as an idea of like, every customer service person, every partnership person has to be able to get on the phone.
Yeah.
Because we have automated everything to death, where like agents are just fighting each other over email.
Totally.
So I think it's the idea of like, when you're hiring customer service, like you should be paying them more than any other, like where in the past, I think that's always been like, oh no, invest in customer service like never before, not just on the tech side, but on the people side, because it's going to be more important now more than ever because of all of these things that have distanced ourselves from our customers. Yeah. So I think it's bringing back being okay with being on the phone, being face to face, owning up when there's a mistake and working through it, I think is going to be the way you actually win AI and automation, is being able to have some humans there when things go sideways.
That's a perfect hot take.
Thank you.
Maggie said it best. We've automated so much that we've actually distanced ourselves from our customers. And the companies that figure out how to bring the human back into that equation are going to win. At Orderful, the same thinking applies to integrations. Less friction, faster connections, and actually making the technology work for the people using it. Now, if you want to see what that looks like, you can check out the link below, check out orderful.com, and get a chance to speak to one of our experts today. Other than that, thank you so much, Maggie, for again attending this wonderful session of the Integration Hub with us. And thank you to all the listeners out there as well. We've got a few more episodes of this series as we get into April. Until then, everyone, stay connected.
Still relying on legacy EDI? Manual work, costly van providers, and slow onboarding are holding you back. Orderful changes everything. Onboard trading partners 10 times faster, automate every transaction, solve production issues in seconds, and stay compliant across all your trading partners. Connect once, trade with the world. Go live in under 9 days with pre-built connections and real-time validation. With built-in support for leading ERPs and systems of record, Orderful fits seamlessly into your existing tech stack. Orderful is #1 in time to value for EDI. Orderful supports all core EDI documents across your supply chain, from order to cash, procure to pay, and logistics to warehousing, and with no hidden fees, ever. Whether you're upgrading your ERP, clearing a trading partner backlog, or done with the cost and complexity of legacy EDI, Orderful helps you move faster with zero surprises and complete control. The EDI infrastructure of the future, available today. Built for change, ready for growth.